Okay, cool guys, are you ready?
Hi, I'm Ron Bemke. Welcome to Steele Canyon Physics. I'm excited to be a guide on your child's journey to better understand and interpret our world through the process of science and discovery. I look forward to working with a fine group of students this term as we take on the adventures that lie ahead. In this video, we'll be going through the Steele Canyon course progression, next generation science standards in the 3 dimensions, and this really does define the course itself. Our curriculum, the 2 different projects the students will be doing, the major projects that is, our website specific to physics, grades and how you can access them online, and then how you can contact me. Our Steele Canyon Science progression. We start in 9th grade with physics, the most fundamental of all of the sciences. Then the students can take that broad fundamental background to better understand chemistry, how atoms tie together to make up all the matter in our universe. And then they'll take their understanding of chemistry to better understand the life sciences in the junior year of either biology, AP biology, or AP environmental science, and life sciences being the most complex of all the sciences. In their senior year, they'll have an opportunity to take electives, either physiology, AP chemistry, or possibly even AP physics. At Steele Canyon, we are embracing the move toward next generation science standards. It's kind of science's common core, if you will. With next generation science standards, there are 3 dimensions. There are the core ideas that we'll go through right here, then practices, and finally cross-cutting principles. To start off, the core ideas are different for each course, obviously, and so our core ideas for physics this year are to look at stars to the atom and the nuclear forces that produce atoms, then atoms and electricity, forces, motion, and momentum, gravity and planetary motion, energy, waves and electromagnetic radiation, and then how all of this physics relates to our Earth. The next dimension for next generation science standards are the practices, the science and engineering practices. And this really is kind of the philosophy of how to run the course. And so these are the practices: asking questions and defining problems, developing and using models, planning and carrying out investigations, analyzing and interpreting data, using mathematics and computational thinking, constructing explanations and designing solutions, engaging in argument from evidence, and obtaining, evaluating, and communicating information. The third of the next generation science standard dimensions are the cross-cutting concepts. So these concepts run throughout every science course and science itself. Our understanding of things is based on patterns, and science really is all about cause and effect. In science, we look at things that are on different scales, and we understand things better by looking at proportions, and also there are different quantities that we use to measure things in. We usually analyze systems in science, and often we create models using those systems. Energy and matter are interchangeable, but the common elements of energy and matter are that there are energy flows, there are cycles in a lot of the systems, and there's this concept of conservation of energy that's so critical throughout science. When we analyze systems, we often are analyzing systems or entities by their structure and function. And then another very interesting part about our world is this idea that there's constant change, but in certain circumstances we can create stability. So those are the 3 dimensions of next generation science standards, and really they do a pretty good job of defining our course in general. Now let's take a look at the curriculum. The curriculum in most units starts off with exploration activities or labs that the students do in teams. Sometimes that's supported further by computer simulations or web quests. And then the information that they've gleaned from their discovery, we refine a little bit further through videos, lectures, and also discussions. They further exercise their understanding through history reading, vocabulary, and also worksheets that they have in their packets. And then we also think it's very important that they do interact with science textbooks. So they will be having a textbook time or textbook reading every unit where they'll take notes and answer some questions at the end of each unit. In addition to the units of study where we're doing these things, we do have two major projects, one of which we do each term. Focusing in on the projects, because usually as a parent, that's where you're going to really have to be helping out your students. Our quarter one project is the Learn It, Teach It. In this project, students will work as a team that they choose, and they will research a topic that we don't have a chance to cover within a regular physics curriculum. And after researching, they will create a lesson to teach their fellow students about that particular topic. They'll design and create a PowerPoint. They'll also create a worksheet and also an activity that goes along with their particular teaching. Quarter two project is the Physics Olympiad project. This is an individual project where a student will either choose a catapult out of popsicle sticks, a mousetrap car, or a toothpick bridge. They will design their own project based on parameters and build it and compete with it. After they've competed with their particular design, they will do a PowerPoint presentation individually talking about their construction experience as well as their contest experience. In addition to physics and our curriculum, I'm a very big believer in emphasizing our values and expectations at Steele Canyon, because I really believe if the students embrace these values and expectations, they will not just be successful in physics, but I think they'll carry that kind of success into every aspect of their lives. Our values at Steele Canyon are take care of yourself, take care of each other, and take care of this place. We have these 5 expectations: be prepared, be engaged, be responsible, be accountable, and be appropriate. If you examine these values and expectations and take a moment to try to understand each of them deeply, I think you'll see that just in this simple picture, you really can describe success. And so this is supposed to be me, and this is supposed to be you as a parent, and then hopefully we're both working to support your child in their overall success. Next, I'd like to take you from our Steele Canyon web page to our science web page so that you know how to navigate and find out a good resource to support your child. If you go under Academics and go down to Science and click on Science, then that'll take you to our Science page, and then come over here to the Science Courses to Physics and click on it, and that takes you to our specific physics page. In this physics page, you can see the different documents by unit. And so if you click on the measurement unit, our first unit, you'll be able to see that these are all the PDF files that make up the packets that the students have. So those are documents. If you come down here, these are the projects that we just went through, the Learn It, Teach It, and the POP. So if you click on those, they can take you to the PDF files that describe those projects in detail. If you're interested in that, the POP project here as well. Here are the different projects themselves and the instructions and so forth. These are some of the computer simulations that the students will be doing. The next part is if you'll go under Mr. Bemke here. This page will lead you to sub-pages for agendas and information. And those are the important ones. I only have one right now, the unit that we're in, the Introductory and Measurement unit. And if you click on that, it'll finally take you to this important page. And on this important page, you will see the unit test projected dates. I don't have them on here. They will be on here by the time you watch the video. You will also see the agendas and also the homework for particular days. And this is a good resource for your student too. If they're ever absent, they can go to this page and see what we're doing on any particular day and be proactive and do their work before they come back to class. This is a good way for you to keep up and see what your student is doing. So instead of asking, do you have homework tonight, you can ask specifically something like, what Martin Luther King Jr. quote or fact did you find for your test or for the class tomorrow? The area that the students will probably be doing the most work on this page is under videos. So a particular, our measurement unit that we're in now, there are videos that either I've created or I've found on YouTube that are helpful for that particular unit, and they will be doing some of these videos, watching them and taking notes from them. So this is our web page. Going back to the Steele Canyon homepage, to access your students' grades online, if you go under Parents and go down to Parent Portal, you will be able to put in your username and password and log in, and your students' grades will pop up online here. If you don't already have a username and password, then right below that is Parent Portal instructions, and that will tell you where to call to get that information. When you're looking at your students' grades, if you happen to see an item that's missing and so forth, and it seems to be pretty recent, don't get too alarmed. Sometimes I will put in the assignments, but not put in your students, not put in all or enter all the grades yet. So please be patient in that case. I will typically upload grades at the end of each unit, so give me about a day after your student is done with the unit test, and that's usually when new grades will all populate the grade book there. And going back to the Steele Canyon homepage one more time, to get a hold of me, you can, or any other teacher, you can go under Staff. And after you go under Staff, you can go down to Directory, Staff Directory. And from the Staff Directory, we can look at that, search that through last name. And if you scroll down to Bemke, that's my wife. This is me right here. And this is my email address, and that is the best way to contact me is through email. This is my office phone, but I don't do as well with voicemail that way. And by the way, this is also the science website, so that might be an easier way for you to access the science website directly, the physics website rather, directly. Again, that's my email. It's the best way to contact me. Thank you very much for your attention throughout this video. And now, Scratch would like you to read his parting thought. Thank you for your support as we team up to help your student strive for continuous improvement.